Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley here for Concord and Ninth. Thanks for joining me today. I am thrilled to be here to introduce you to all of the fabulous new stamps, dies, and stencils just released from Concord and Ninth for October 2023. Let's dive in and have a look at each of these fabulous bundles. Let's have an up-close and personal look at the brand new Basketweave card front die from Concord and Ninth. This is brand new for October 2023, and I love Concord and Ninth's card front dies because they simply cut texture. If you'll notice on this die, there's a ton of texture, but there's no outer cut line. So that means you can use this on a card base or a card front because it's not going to cut your card base apart. You can also use this on a variety of die cuts, and it works great with the brand new Sweetest Pie dies and coordinating stamps. So here is a look at that Basketweave card front die cut from several colors. Some of these are card panels, some of these are actually card bases, and you can see because there's no outer cutting line on this particular die, I can die cut this and have it be directly on my card front, which makes it great for cutting down on layers if you're trying to cut down on bulk. This Basketweave card front die is perfect for adding texture and pattern to cards for every occasion. You're going to find yourself reaching for it all fall long and throughout the year. I have the great pleasure of introducing you to the brand new Build a Blooms die set in 2024 calendar stamp set, and you can have a look at these fabulous products here. You'll use these throughout the years to create fabulous floral themed projects, as well as birthday cards, Mother's Day cards, and more. Now this is available in a bundle, which also includes all of the cardstock that you need to create your calendar page bases. So you can see I have 12 pieces of cardstock here. It's pre-cut to 4¼ by 6¼ inches. It's perfect for a calendar, and it comes in Tide Pool, Pebble, Artichoke, Sorbet, Stardust, and Nectar. And if you want to purchase these packages of calendar cardstock, they are available for purchase individually as well, so you can make several calendars for all the people on your list. Now, the Build a Bloom die set has so many different varieties and options for florals, and this calendar set has every month for the year of 2024, as well as a little hello greeting, a couple of calendar markers, and a fun little splatter stamp as well. So let's have a look at all of the dies die cut out. I have them here on a piece of white cardstock. You can see you have 4 different options for leaves and stems, and then you have several options for florals that you can combine with those leaves and stems. The florals include die cuts that you can combine together to create layered pieces, or you can use them on your own to create simpler floral images. You can see I've die cut and combined them all here so that you can check out the various options and see them kind of put together as well. Now, once you have your florals assembled, you can just assemble them onto the stems using those predetermined little circles there that allow you to place your adhesive strategically. And you can see I'm just grabbing a couple of them here and placing them on the stems. It is really fun to build different options using these florals and stems. Now, another die that's included in the set is the centers and kind of accents. And you can see I've added them onto the various floral die cuts here, but you can use them however you want. Now let's look at how easy it is to prepare a calendar page. I have a piece of the pre-cut cardstock that comes in the calendar bundle, and I'm placing the month of July stamp there at the bottom, kind of centered up. And I've also placed the 2024 stamp along that right-hand border. I'm inking both of these stamps up at the same time using the Tide Pool ink for a tone-on-tone look and stamping them onto this cardstock. And you can see I have a beautiful result. Now you can use these calendar stamps with any dies or stamps that you may already have in your stash to create different looks. And once you have your month stamped down onto your cardstock, you can just add a leaf and a few florals to really dress this up. These calendars make great gifts for the holidays and for teachers. They fit perfectly in a stocking, and I think you're gonna love creating various calendar pages and marking your special dates on these. Let's have a look at a few calendar pages that I created using the calendar stamp set along with the Build-A-Blooms die set. You can see I have so many different looks, and I've created all of these on the cardstock included in the calendar bundle. This is such a beautiful kind of floral stationery look. I've kept all of these very simple and very flat so that they're easy to give, but I think you're gonna have a great time combining this not only with the Build-A-Bloom set, but also with sets that you have in your stash. Now keep in mind that these stamps and dies are perfect for cards as well. You can see I've created a beautiful floral card to go along with my calendar here. I've added some dimension and some enamel dots to dress that up. So there you have it, an up close and personal introduction to the brand new Build-A-Blooms die set, calendar stamp set, and the bundle that's available to create beautiful calendars. These make such great gifts, and I think you'll be reaching for this stamp and die set throughout the year. I'm thrilled to give you a look at the brand new Picture Perfect stamps and dies from Concord and Ninth. These are so much fun, and when you see what they can do, I think you're gonna fall in love like I did. Now this bundle includes a stamp set and coordinating die set, and it is all based on a picture perfect theme, and I think you're gonna fall in love in an instant. Do you get where I'm going with this? This stamp set includes some adorable scenery imagery, washi tape imagery, as well as some fabulous sentiments that you can include on your instant photos. And this huge die set creates an instant camera box and includes dies to help you dress up your instant photos. I told you it's gonna be instant love for these. So you can see I have the camera box pieces, all of the pieces that I need to dress up that instant camera piece. I have the pieces to create my instant photo, several scenery dies, as well as some feet and some shoes there. I'll show you how all of these come together. Let's have a look at all of the pieces die cut. I've die cut these. These are the box pieces from some Pebble cardstock. You can see that all of these dies include the score lines that you need. You have some markings for your glue, as well as some dashed lines that will help you position some of the dies that are meant to kind of dress this up. This is the third piece of the camera box dies that are included in this set. And then there are two dies that you can use to create instant photos. Now, if you use the two dies together and cut them at once, you will have this cute little instant photo frame, or you can use the dies separately and layer them up to create your instant photo. Both are fun ways to use this die, and I'm glad that they included them separately so that it gives you more versatility. Now here is a look at all of the pieces included in the die set along with the box bases. You have all of the pieces to decorate your instant camera. There are some markings and some guides on there to help you layer all those up. And then there are pieces to create scenery. So let me show you how quickly the lens for the instant camera comes together. I have these pieces die cut from some matte silver and some mushroom cardstock. I've layered those three pieces together to create the lens, and then I have the other three pieces which help to bring that camera to life. Now, Concord and Ninth is so great at adding extra dies to their die sets to really allow you to dress things up and create custom scenery. You can see I have these little feet die cut here from some Nectar cardstock, and I'm using the additional pieces and just layering them up to add a little pair of ballet flats and some shoes. I have another larger set of feet. They're kind of harder to see over here, but I'm stacking the tennis shoe option on those. They're die cut from some white cardstock, and I am just stacking up the die cuts to create these adorable kind of Converse style tennis shoes. I can totally see Greg wearing these. And then I am going to add the little pant pieces here. And then there's some optional cuff pieces that you can layer. So you can do as much or as little layering as you want to create your custom scenes. Now look at all of these dies on the bottom: mountains, rivers, coyote, cactuses, trees. You can create custom scenes using these. Now this die is also included in the die set, and it is designed to allow you to create an opening on the front of your camera box so that you can allow the instant photos to slide through. And I'm going to show you how to create this instant camera box here. Now I have 2 each of the base pieces that I call the base pieces. They're die cut from some pebble cardstock, and a single piece of the die that includes like the camera lens and the shutter piece and all of that. I like to add all of my additional die cut pieces to this piece before I assemble my instant camera so that I'm not fussing with it once it's kind of 3-dimensional. Once I have those pieces added, I am just going to fold and reinforce on all of the score lines that are created by the die itself. Now, anytime you're creating a type of box, you're going to want to start by kind of folding on all of the score lines and reinforcing those with a bone folder. Now, I have 2 of this piece here, which will create kind of the base of our box. And this box does have a functioning kind of slide out drawer, so you'll see me put this together. And I love that Concord and 9th has included some texture along the side of this to make this more realistic. So it kind of makes that grippy portion on the side of those old school instant cameras that we all loved and that have kind of come back in vogue, especially recently. I feel like all the youngins have them and they think they're so cool. Remember when this was the cutting edge of technology. Now I have the 2 pieces that kind of have the notches and tabs. I've die cut that die twice from some pebble cardstock, and once again, I'm just folding on all of those score lines. Now this creates kind of the drawer on our instant camera. So I am going to add some adhesive to these little tabs that stick out from the side of these pieces. And I kind of like to go through and add all of my adhesive at once because I have it in my hand and it just seems easier to me. Now I'm taking one of these base pieces with the little grips on the side and I'm adding adhesive on the inside of those flaps. I like to run it up right next to the score line there. And I'm going to do that to both ends or both grip pieces on this base piece. So only one of these base pieces is getting adhesive, but it's getting it on both tabs. So you can see what it looks like there. And I did not go over the score lines on the outer edges of this. Now this piece actually has your adhesive marked for you. There are 2 tabs that say glue, and I'm adding some of this double-sided tape on the front portion of the first tab. And I like to add it on the back side of the second tab, and you'll see why here in just a bit. So now I have all of my adhesive added. You can see it's on the front of this tab and on the back of this glue tab. That's going to hold that to the base of the box. Now I like to start with the drawer portion, and this is very easy. I'm going to remove the backer from the adhesive that I've placed on those little outer tabs there. And these are going to connect together and nestle inside of each other to create the drawer. So I like to start by taking that notched piece and just adhering it to the tab by lining up the edges of those score lines. Then I am going to add adhesive just inside of that box on this one piece only. That's going to hold the bases of this drawer together. So the bottom part of the drawer, that adhesive is going to hold those pieces together. So now I can take this second kind of drawer piece and nestle it right into the corner of that piece that has the adhesive, lining up the score lines there with the base of that second piece. And you can see they're all connected together now. And now it's just a matter of folding up the tabs and adhering them on the inside of this drawer piece. So you build up the 4 walls, and that creates your drawer piece that will go inside of this functioning instant camera box. Now that little drawer is going to slide inside of the base piece of the camera. So remember, these are the pieces with the grippy portions on the outside tabs. You can kind of think of this as a base that will wrap around your drawer. Now I have the portion that has the adhesive there on my right-hand side and the one without the adhesive. And I'm just going to take one of those tabs and fold it in and line up the edge of the piece that has the adhesive with that fold line. So you can see that connects those two pieces together. So I have one long piece now, and I can fold the tab in again and fold over that long piece to where the edge with the adhesive meets up. And that creates almost like a matchbox kind of die situation here. And you could use this on its own, but we're going to continue going and we're going to turn this into an instant camera. So you can see I have my functioning drawer here and the base of my camera with those grips on the outside, super easy to put together. Now here we just add our kind of additional piece on the top that creates that instant camera feel. So I've removed the adhesive from the tab on the end of this camera piece, and I'm sliding it inside of the base piece. So this is kind of that matchbox portion, and I'm making sure the edge of that tab or that first score line on this camera piece lines up with the edge of this matchbox portion or this base of my camera die. You can see that there. Now it's time to kind of build a tent with the rest of this instant camera. And I like to do this by first placing these colorful strips on the base of the camera here so that I know exactly where I need to line this up. And then I'll fold in that strip that has the adhesive on it and kind of butt it right up against these colorful strips that decorate the top part of this base piece. So then I can just press that down and voila, I have my instant camera box with a functioning little drawer. And keep in mind, you can use that small slit die that I showed you earlier to create an opening on the front of this drawer and allow your instant photos to kind of slide through that as well. Now, I could not resist making this little instant camera box out of some Nectar cardstock, and I've created a couple of instant photos to go in this as well. I have a little shaker photo here. So this is just kind of a flatter shaker style instant photo here. I have all of the fall leaves in there. And then I also have kind of this desert scene, all of these fun little instant photos tucked into that little drawer. And I think that these would make adorable little note cards as well. So you could create a folding portion at the top of those instant photos to create note cards. I've also used the die set to create some fun instant photos, and I've used the Sending Smiles dies from the die set to add my sentiment there. I've created some custom washi. I think this is a fun way to use this die set as well. So just think out of the box, no pun intended, with this set because I think it is so versatile in so many ways. And I think once you get it in your hands, it's going to be instant love for you. I can't wait to see all of the creative ways that you use this brand new picture perfect stamp and die bundle from Concord and Knight. I am in love with the stamp and die set, and I cannot hide it any longer. Let me introduce you to the brand new Sweetest Pie stamp and die bundle from Concord and Knight, brand new for October 2023. This stamp set includes some really fun greetings as well as that adorable gingham tablecloth, and I'll show you how that works here in just a bit. But we have some simple greetings like "so grateful," "take care," or "hey there, cutie pie," but there's also some fun sentiments that say, "I only have pies for you," or "love you more than pie," or "pie like you very much." So I think this is so much fun to play with. Now the die set is fabulous because it creates not only the pies, but that fun little textured tablecloth. And they've even thought of all of those extra little crust details that so many of these pie artists create. And then there are some sentiment dies that include hello and hi, cutie, and pie in this adorable script greeting. Now this tablecloth die is so much fun because it creates the fringe, and then you have all of these options for pie crusts. And I'm going to show you how those look here in just a moment. So when you stamp your little gingham tablecloth and use the outer die to cut that out, it creates this perfect little fringe on that gingham piece. or you can use the center square that's included and just cut out that simple gingham tablecloth as well. And I think this looks great cut out of some colored cardstock and just having that simple little fringe on the edge. Now look at all of these dies when they're die cut out. There are so many, and these stack up to create pies. It's so easy. I've used the larger circle to create my pie tins out of some matte silver cardstock. And then I've cut the inner portion out of some colored cardstock to create kind of a blueberry pie. But then I can play with all of my crust options. So I have that lattice work crust. I have a simple kind of outer crust there. I don't know what you would call that. Maybe a fluted crust, and then a braided crust. Now, keep in mind, I am no pie artist. I don't think I've ever baked a pie in my entire life, but this is something I can definitely do, and I love the theme of this set. It's perfect for the holidays that are ahead of us. And you can see they've also included some details that you could die cut from the center portion of that crust to create little peekaboo crusts as well. And not only do they have the larger pie, but they have the smaller pie with additional crust options as well as the little peekaboo for that. So you could create pumpkin pie, apple pie, cherry pie, raspberry pie, chocolate pie, and more. And then of course we have whipped cream, because what is pie without some whipped cream? Now, I am in love with the sentiments on this set. You have hi, cutie pie, and hello. And then the adorable pie servers for both the large and small pie. Now, let's have a look at a couple of card projects that I created using this Sweetest Pie bundle. I've used the larger pie and created an adorable shiny pumpkin pie with some embossing powder. Placed that onto a background that I created with the brand new Basketweave card front. And I also added some little sugar to the edge of my pie crust. Now this one includes 3 little pies. I've also added some shine to the filling using some embossing powder. And you can see all the little details on these pies, which make dressing them up so much fun. So you don't have to be a master baker to create an adorable and beautiful pie for the holiday season. You just need a good stamp and die set. I really cannot wait to see all of the creative ways that people use this, because I think there's so many possibilities for using this stamp and die bundle together. So what kind of pie are you going to create first using this brand new Sweetest Pie bundle? I can't wait to see. Let's have an up-close look at the brand new Tweet Life stamps and stencils from Concord and Ninth, brand new for October 2023. This Tweet Life stamp set is so genius because it coordinates beautifully with the stencil set. You have 3 rows of stamps here which create all the details for the small birds, but you also have some larger details for the larger birds that are included in the Tweet Life stencil set, which I'm going to show you here. Now this stencil set is a 5-piece stencil set, and keep in mind you can mix and match these together to create different birds. You can also flip-flop them to orient your birds in a different way. So the first 2 stencils include everything that you need to make 3 rows of little birds. And the second stencil has all of the little wing pieces for these. Now you will stencil these and then stamp them with the coordinating rows of the stamp set to add the little beaks and details to the birds. There are also 2 large bird stencils, and keep in mind all of these can be flipped to the other side to orient your bird in a different way. The 5th and final stencil includes 6 wing options for the large birds, and you can see that I can use any of these wings with either one of the large birds, and they can be flipped over to orient them in different directions, which I think is a great feature of stencils. Keep in mind the back of your packaging is also helpful when creating with stencil sets. It gives you some color inspiration and kind of shows you how everything layers up to come together. Now I'm going to quickly show you how the rows of small birds work together. And on each of these stencils, you'll notice a little guideline. That guideline will line up perfectly with a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of cardstock to help you align your stencils on an A2 size card front. I'm going to stencil the top row of little birdies with sorbet ink, the second row with some Stardust ink, and the third and final row with some Tide Pool ink. Now you can mask off these rows if you prefer, but I found that I was able to kind of control my ink and where it was going to stencil these rows in different colors. Now I've added the second stencil, which is the wing detail for all of these little birds. I've used the little guides in the upper corner and lower corner to line it up with my A2 size card front here. And then I'm ink blending over the top of this using the same color of inks that I used before, but a little bit heavier hand. And you can see when I remove the second stencil, I have 9 adorable little birdies that create an entire card front, or you can use each row individually. Now I'm going to take this card front and align it in my Misty stamping tool, and I've used each row of the bird details from the stamp set that are labeled and lined them up with my stenciled images. And now I'm stamping them using some Concord and 9th black ink onto my rows of stenciled birds here, and you can see how all of the feet, beaks, and details are quickly added to these 3 rows of birds. Now here is a look at each of the larger birds, and I've gone ahead and stamped some of the details and the beaks on those as well. So you can see that the stencil set is very versatile and these birds come together so easily. These were a shocker for me because I didn't expect to love them so much. Now here is a look at a birthday card that I have created using the larger bird from the stencil set. I've also used a portion of that larger bird stencil to create a little hill for my bird to stand on. I've stamped the Happy Bird Day sentiment from the stamp set along that bird's body and used one of the beaks and partially inked one of the feet to create a little party hat on my bird, which I thought was a fun way to use these stamps. Now I've also used the smaller bird stencil and I've placed it out on an angle on my card front to create this sweet little row of birds. And I've used the thank you and life is tweet with friends like you stamp from the coordinating stamp set to create a sentiment for this card. I've also combined that with the Basketweave card front die that's brand new for October 2023 as well. Now, I love this Tweet Life bundle from Concord and 9th because it's perfect for a variety of occasions, and these cards come together so quickly. You can use all of your colored inks to create a whole rainbow of birds on your card projects. Thanks so much for joining me today. This is Carissa Wiley for Concord and 9th. I hope you have enjoyed this up-close and personal introduction to the brand new October 2023 stamps, dies, and stencils. I know you are going to have so much fun creating with this release.